Baptist Christian School. Once again, it's your boy, Pastor Wayne, with another Minecraft update. So today we are in Bible land again. We're at the Psalmist Theater here. And anyway, I just want to show you a new addition to Bible land. Let me get into flying mode here. All right, so we've got a special opportunity for people who are currently Bible Land annual pass holders. So that means if you are an annual pass holder, we have a unique opportunity to preview a new attraction here at Bible Land. So the way you get to it is it's really a secret entrance. So you have to go through Bethlehem Village. And toward the back over here of Bethlehem Village, you will find the secret entrance. Now here are the restrooms, men's, women's restrooms. But just past that, hello llamas, you'll come to this. It says, no photography or video allowed in this attraction. And you must have your pass holder membership card visible as you are checked into this area. So this is annual pass holder members only. And you come into this very secluded entrance. Get ready to travel to the Mediterranean Sea. Join Paul on his voyage to Rome. All right, that sounds exciting, right? You are entering the 1st century, so we are going way back in time here. Thanks for being a pass holder. You know, that's nice, because there are benefits to being a pass holder. Get your sea legs ready. All right, so let's go up the ramp here, and we're coming out to water, and look at that. Wow. Let's see, it says shipwrecked on Malta. Shipwrecked on Malta. And this would have been in the book of Acts, where we find that Paul has been arrested and he has appealed to Caesar. And so he is on a voyage from Israel, from Jerusalem, all the way to Rome. And along the way, there is this tremendous storm. Let's go ahead and get in a boat here. And we'll just back out of the pier, the dock here. And let's make our way over here. Now you can see that the Mediterranean has some coral reefs, some very jagged looking rocks and formations down there. And what we find is that Paul's ship ran aground when it hit these rocks. The storm was really bad. There were waves crashing over the side of the boat. Finally, the boat became lodged in these rocks. And so they had to abandon ship. Now, this ship looks really good because, hey, it's hard to build a damaged ship in Minecraft. But let's just imagine that it's broken. But let me show you around Paul's ship here. I don't know if they had camels, but it's kind of cool, though, right? You've got your signs here indicating port to the right and starboard to the left. Over here we have the, the Starlight navigation station. So they would navigate the seas using starlight at night. And so there's a telescope and a compass. They had all sorts of storage on the boat. This says the Arcturus, built in April the 16th of the year 0. Okay, so 1st century, actually I should change that. It's not the year 0. This would have been like, let's say 70. No, 70 AD. Jerusalem was destroyed. Let's say 56 AD. Okay, there, that's fixed. And back here, the captain, looking quite splendid back here, has his steering wheel for the rudder. And if you were on this vessel, you could take a trip up the ladder to the crow's nest, and you could scout out for rocks and other things, other ships. Of course, you couldn't get up here during the middle of the storm because the winds were blowing like crazy and waves were crashing, and so the ship was moving back and forth. So that would have been very hard. Okay. So as they ran aground, what happened next was God had told Paul to tell them that when this shipwreck happens, to don't worry about anything, just get yourselves overboard. And they had to swim. They had to swim to shore. So they were swimming, just keep swimming, right? And they made it to this little island. This is called Malta. Malta is off the coast of Italy today. You can actually take a cruise ship and go to this island, which is really neat. And so they came ashore carrying very little with them. And so let's just imagine that there was a cave there. And so they go into this cave and they build a fire. Oh, it feels so good. Some of the people from Malta come out and greet them. And I imagine they help them to dry off and give them some food to eat. So yeah, they were rescued safe and sound. The Bible says that nobody on board the boat was lost. There were other prisoners just like Paul. There were Roman soldiers and other sailors and people on the boat. None of them died in the storm because they obeyed God's warning to Paul not to try to save a bunch of stuff, but just save their lives. Maybe they, grabbed a few things. Well, there's not anything in that chest, so anything over here? No. So see, they brought just nothing with them, but they did save their lives. Now, the Bible says that while they were here, and they had this beautiful fire going, they put a lot of limbs on top of one another, stacked it up so that they could start this fire. When they lit it, there was a snake. This is a poisonous snake down inside the wood. And it came out and it actually bit Paul on the hand. And the people of Malta were shocked. I mean, they were like, oh my goodness, this guy, he's been rescued from the storm and now he's going to die from a poisonous snake. He must be a bad person because that is not good luck, right? Well, God protected Paul from the venom of the snake. And after many hours, the people of Malta said, well, he must be okay then. And of course, Paul had the opportunity to share with them the good news about how we can be saved by believing in Jesus and turning away from our sin and being adopted into God's family. So even though Paul was a prisoner, he said the gospel is not chained. And so he was able to share the good news even while he was chained up and being transported as a prisoner out in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, even on this tiny little island. He was able to share the good news about Jesus. So there you have it. Shipwrecked on Malta. This is the pass holder preview. And so you've gotten to be, oh no, the camel got loose. What are you doing? You're going to drown, buddy. You got to stay on the ship. Oh my goodness. Oh well. But there you go. So we still got a little bit of work to do on the attraction. Some kinks to work out. But overall, really cool. And glad you got to be a part of this pass holder preview at Bible Land.